What if I told you the reason you're not successful isn't because you're not talented, but because you're too gentle with your dream? Because while you're being polite with your potential, somebody out there is fighting for theirs, like their life depends on it. You want success? Then you better be ready to get violent, not with people, but with your excuses, your distractions, your comfort zone. Because greatness, it doesn't respond to whispers. It answers to war. See, when I say violence, people get nervous. They start thinking about fists flying, about anger, about chaos and destruction. That's not what I mean. I'm not talking about the violence that harms others. I'm talking about the kind that rebuilds you, the kind that tears down everything soft, everything scared, everything average inside you, and replaces it with steel. See, success doesn't come to the comfortable. It comes to the one who is willing to be violent with their discipline. And I'm not sugarcoating it. It takes a kind of fury to wake up when your body begs you to sleep. It takes a kind of rage to work on your craft while others are out partying, laughing, scrolling, drifting. It takes a kind of madness, the good kind, to say no to the life everyone else accepts and say yes to the life that's calling you from the other side of pain. Violence, it's choosing pressure when ease is right there. It's staring comfort in the face and saying, not today. You got to be willing to violently strip away distraction, cut off the dead weight. Friends who aren't really friends. Habits that numb instead of build. Voices in your head that say, you can't. Those voices, you don't negotiate with them. You don't sit down and reason. You destroy them. You burn their permission slips. You tear up their seat at your table. Because listen to me, the world ain't gonna hand you your dream. It's not just gonna show up with a bow on it. You have to take it. Snatch it like it owes you everything. And that kind of grabbing, that kind of seizing, that takes force, that takes violence. The kind that nobody sees. The kind that happens in the quiet hours, in the gym before sunrise, on the page after everyone else went to bed, in the studio, in the lab, on the field, wherever your dream lives. You got to bring war to the areas in your life where weakness has made a home. You got to be the storm that wipes out average, not with hate, but with hunger, not with fists, but with ferocious focus. Because the truth is, and I'm saying this with love, if you ain't willing to fight for it, don't be surprised when someone else gets it. The greatest fight you'll ever face isn't out there. It's not the competition. It's not the critics. It's not the doubters, the haters, or the people who told you you'd never make it. It's the person looking back at you in the mirror. You see, most people lose not because they're not talented, but because they never learn how to win the war within. They get taken out by their own fears, their own laziness, their own voice that whispers, why bother? That voice, it doesn't shout. It's subtle. It's the one that tells you to hit snooze just one more time. That says you can start tomorrow. It's the one that says you're not good enough anyway, so why even try? And you know what? Most people listen. They give in. They hand over the keys to their dream without a fight. But not you. Not anymore. You got to wake up and realize this battle, it's personal. You've got to be ready to take your doubt by the throat and say, you don't run this, I do. You've got to be violent with your inner critic. You've got to outlast the fear that lives rent-free in your head. That fear is clever, man. It knows how to wear disguises. Sometimes it shows up as logic. Sometimes it shows up as playing it safe. But deep down, you know what it really is. It's fear pretending to protect you while actually stealing from you. And the worst part, nobody sees that war but you. Nobody knows how hard it is just to show up, to keep going when the dream feels miles away, to push through when every part of you is saying stop. But here's the truth. Every great one, every legend you admire, they had to face this same war. They had to fight through the same fog of fear, the same whispers of not enough. But they chose violence. Violence against passivity. Violence against the part of themselves that wanted to shrink. It was violence against the part that said settle. That's what greatness demands. It doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care what your background is or how much pain you've seen. All it cares about is, are you willing to fight yourself for this? Because that's where the real enemy lives. And the day you decide to confront that enemy, not avoid it, not deny it, but face it, that's the day everything changes. That's the day you take your power back. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be a fighter. People love to clap for the results. They love the trophies, the awards, the highlight reels, the headlines. They see the polished version, the suit, the stage, the spotlight. But what they don't see, this is the fight that happened when nobody was watching. Success looks sexy on the outside, but on the inside, it's messy, it's gritty, it's full of scars that never made it to Instagram. You ever hear someone say, he came out of nowhere? Let me tell you something, nobody comes out of nowhere. They came out of pain. They came out of nights where the tears hit the pillow harder than their head did. They came out of rejection, out of failure, out of doors slammed in their face. They came out of battle. Let me speak from the heart for a second. When I was starting out, man, I didn't walk into Hollywood with open arms waiting. I walked into that city with a dream and a target on my back. Audition after audition. No, sorry, you're not quite what we're looking for. You're too this, too that, not enough of something else. I could have packed it up. I could have listened, but I didn't. Because behind every no, I heard a different voice. That voice said, you're not finished. That voice said, get back in the room. That voice said, you better fight for this or walk away knowing you never gave it your all. And that voice, that was the violence inside me. Not toward others, but toward that soft part of me that wanted to quit, that wanted to believe the rejection meant I wasn't good enough. But you see, the most dangerous thing about success is how well it hides the war it took to earn it. You look at Kobe Bryant. People talk about Mamba mentality like it's a slogan. That man was up at 4 a.m. while the world slept. He trained like he was broke, even when he was a millionaire. That's violence. That's obsession. That's commitment so deep it feels like a fight, because it is. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team, cried in his room, then turned that pain into fire. He didn't negotiate with that pain. He didn't let it sit quietly. He used it. That's what the greats do. They take every wound and they turn it into ammo. You look at Serena Williams, people talk about her power, her dominance, but they didn't see her at 7 years old, out on the court, while other kids were still watching cartoons. They didn't see the reps, the drills, the sacrifices her family made, the pressure she carried, not just as an athlete, but as a symbol. See, when people see greatness, they think it's gifted. But what they don't understand is it's earned, violently, not with fists, but with uncompromising repetition, with endless hours of work nobody ever applauds, with a mindset so locked in it becomes dangerous. You want success? Look behind every winner. You'll find a trail of losses, a mountain of rejection. You'll find someone who went to war with every reason to give up and chose to keep going anyway. They didn't just rise, they fought their way out. And they're still fighting. Everybody wants to be great until it's time to pay for it. They want the glory, the spotlight, the applause. But when the bill comes due, when it asks for sacrifice, for blood, for time, for peace of mind, they hesitate. See, greatness don't come with a discount tag. It charges full price. And if you're not willing to pay up in effort, in pain, in consistency, you don't get in. You want to be legendary? Then you better be ready to give things up. Give up sleep. Give up comfort. Give up being liked. I give up parts of yourself you've outgrown. The old you, the soft you, the version of you that still wants everything to be easy. You can't take your dream to the next level. while dragging your bad habits behind you. You got to cut them loose. Sometimes you got to look yourself in the eye and say, I'm done protecting my weakness. And I know it hurts. I know what it feels like to be torn between who you were and who you're becoming. To stand at that fork in the road where one way is familiar and the other is necessary. But you got to make the hard choice, because greatness isn't comfortable. It's not convenient. It will demand sacrifices no one claps for. You might have to walk alone. You might have to turn off the world for a while. Ignore the texts, miss the parties, skip the sleep-ins. Because while they rest, you grind. While they coast, you build. While they talk, you execute. And let me tell you something. It's going to feel like loss at first. Losing friends, losing balance, losing moments. But what you're really losing is the weight that's been holding you back. You're not losing your life. You're making room for it. You can't reach your destiny with your hands full of distractions. You can't chase greatness carrying the baggage of average. You got to drop it all and run hard. You think champions become who they are by accident. They burn for it. They give up comfort, routine, ego, even relationships that don't support the mission. Why? Because they understand what most people don't. Success will not share space with anything less than full commitment. You got to be willing to break some things. Break habits, break cycles, break silence. You may even have to break your own heart a few times by leaving behind the things you love but know can't go where you're headed. This isn't for the faint of heart. It's not for the almost committed. It's for the one who says, if this costs me everything that isn't aligned, then so be it. Because the truth is, what you're willing to sacrifice reveals how bad you really want it. So now you know what it takes. You know what it demands. No more illusions. No more fairy tales. Because success, don't tap you on the shoulder politely and ask if you're ready. It comes for the one who's already moving, already climbing, already swinging. That dream you've been holding, that thing that keeps you up at night, that vision that won't let you go, it's waiting, but it's not waiting passively. It's waiting impatiently, and it's not going to wait forever. You think you got time? You don't. You think tomorrow is promised? It isn't. You think somebody else is going to hand you your purpose? They won't. It's on you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to knock on your door and drag you into greatness. You have to get up, get dressed, get focused, and go to war for what you believe in. You are the warrior. The dream, that's your battlefield. And the enemy, it ain't out there. It's the voice that says, maybe later. It's the doubt that says, you're not ready. It's the fear that says, what if you fail? Let me tell you what failure really is. It's never trying. It's sitting on the sidelines and watching your life become a story you didn't write. That's failure. But you're built for more than that. You've got fire in your belly. You've got something inside of you that the world hasn't even seen yet. And it's time. Time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Time to stop seeking approval. Time to stop apologizing for wanting more. You don't need permission. You don't need a sign. This, right now, is your moment. So get violent with your excuses, with your distractions, with every ounce of hesitation you've been carrying around like a badge of honor. Tear it off. Burn it down and step into the fire, not as a victim, not as a dreamer, but as a soldier of your own destiny. Because the world doesn't give greatness to the most polite. It gives it to the most relentless, the most obsessed, the one who wakes up every day ready to wage war for what they love. The question now isn't if you're capable, it is, are you willing to fight? So now you understand, success isn't some soft, smiling dream. It's a battlefield, and you're either fighting for it or forfeiting it. You don't get to tiptoe into greatness. You don't whisper your way into legacy. You walk in loud. You walk in bold. You walk in, ready to destroy every limitation that ever told you no. You want to win? Then fight like your future depends on it. Because it does. And I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you've been through. All I care about is whether you're ready to go to war for your purpose, for your calling, for your life. The world doesn't need more dreamers. It needs more warriors. So stop waiting. Start swinging. And the next time someone asks you, does success really require violence? You look them dead in the eye and say, only if you want to win. Thank you.